and welcome to another 3 questions for the Law of Attraction women experts who have manifested the relationship they deserve. Today, I'm excited to introduce my guest. It's Rebecca Psigoda, and she's a wonderful dear friend of mine. We've worked together a lot, and thank you for being here.
Hi, Sarah. How are you? I'm very happy to be here. If there's anything I can do to help.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank you on behalf of all the women that are going to enjoy this interview, and I'm sure they're going to be very inspired. We have a very juicy interview today. My guest, Rebecca, just got married again to her ex-husband. Maybe like 10 days ago now, just got married.
Yes, exactly. 10 days ago.
Nice. So it's for the second time. So we're going to get some juicy information. So going straight into it, just tell me how you guys met, your whole story right up until the second marriage.
Oh, all that. Okay. We worked for the same company. We were both in cable television back in the 80s when it was beginning. So Mark was the head of sales and marketing, and I worked in engineering. So how we met. It was kind of an office romance, which was taboo at that time. You weren't really allowed to do that. But he walked by my office all the time, and I had a window right here, and I'm going to be honest. His butt is so awesome. And I'd see it, and I'd do one of these, and so I was immediately attracted to him physically. And then I just started to observe him, and he was just so nice. He compliments everybody all the time, and he's still like that. Oh, did you get a haircut? That looks great. Is that new nail polish? That's a really great color for you. New shoes? Awesome. So he had this nickname of being the man on campus. Anyway, he was also very shy. So although sweet and kind, he was very shy. So a group of us were having a conversation on a Friday afternoon in the office, and we were all just standing around talking about going out for cocktails after work. And I turned to him and said, "You should come." And he said, "Oh, okay." So we went out as a group, and he sat next to me, and he ordered a Diet Coke. And that's when I went, oh, this is going to be good. He did not order a cocktail. And because of the background I come from, I grew up in a house with a very alcoholic, abusive father. And so my Mr. Right was not my father. So right. I was looking for certain qualities that were going to be very different from what I grew up with. And so that was the beginning. That's when we began to date. We were married less than a year later. And I just knew from the beginning, this is important. This isn't just, a hot guy that I'm attracted to physically. This is important. There are some values here that I really appreciate. Professional, very kind. As I just explained to our sons this weekend, one of the things that I was most attracted to was he was just very kind. I think that's a huge thing to be attracted to, because a man will treat you the way you see him treat others, especially his mother, by the way. So that was it. And again, we were married less than a year later. And we were married for 23 years. And I would say most of that was really good. Circumstances brought things to a halt in 2008, and the marriage ended. And then in 2012, I went to the Train the Trainer and became certified in Infinite Possibilities. And I began to apply the principles immediately. I started to really be more conscious and deliberate about my thoughts, my beliefs, managed my emotions. But at the beginning of chapter 1, when you take yourself through the workbook, it asks you to write down 3 dreams that you have. And so in my 3 dreams, one was career, one was financial, and one was romantic, because I had decided I was ready once again to have a romantic relationship that would result in marriage, togetherness, etc. And it was within 3 months, all 3 of those dreams came true because I followed the program and the process. But one of them was, I was at a concert and I ran into Mark. We hadn't seen each other or spoken in quite a while. And I just started crying. I saw him and, I'm walking through this huge crowd at a concert and I see him and he's smiling and he's laughing and he's talking to someone. And I just started to sob. And I got to him and he opened his arms and took me in and held me. Gonna get over it. I'm tear.
I'm crying too.
And then we started to go for walks and talk, and we began afresh. Talked about some of those things that happened the first time around, and fell in love again. So,
congratulations, Rebecca.
Thank you. And so we've been back together since 2012, and then this past weekend, not 2 days ago, but 10 days ago, we got married again. So that's kind of the story
nice.
So far.
And I'll put a picture in this post of their wedding day, because you look amazing. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on to the questions.
Yes.
What advice would you have given yourself a year before you met your present partner to get yourself ready? So this could be the first time around or the second time around. Would the advice be quite different?
I struggled with this question because I kind of believe that everything that's happening is exactly what's supposed to happen. So if I went back and changed anything, then I wouldn't be sitting here now saying what I'm saying and having what I consider to be this fairy tale life going on. So I think everything that happened was perfect. And I think because that's partially what I want to say, my advice would be, if you can look at your life and realize that there is a big picture that you can't see all of yet, but it's working, and not beat yourself up or not look at things with regret or guilt, because those are useless emotions. When we fuel our life with guilt or with regret, we're actually creating more of that, more situations that put us in that. So based on law of attraction, do your best to be happy. Do the kinds of things that make you happy as a person, as a soul. If you're an artist, do art. If you're an athlete, do your athletics. If you're health conscious, that's fine. So whatever it is that you are that makes you happy, do as much of that as possible. Because when you're happy, you have a high vibration and frequency, and therefore you will attract someone else who has those kinds of qualities. I would add to that, if you want someone kind, be kind. Be kind to everyone. Be kind to the person at the grocery store. Be kind to the waiter. We had a construction crew here last week ripping out our porch and our walkway and our driveway. They were here from very early in the morning until dark. We gave them water throughout the day. We fed them throughout the day. And at the end, they said, "Thank you so much. People don't treat us like this." And I thought, but why not? I had a hard time with much of what my father was about, but what he said, which stuck with me throughout my whole life, was treat others the way you want to be treated. So even when it comes to what you're looking for in a partner, if you're looking for someone healthy, then work on your health. If you're looking for someone who's kind and thoughtful and generous, be kind, thoughtful, and generous with your friends, with your family. And again, even with people you don't know, with everyone. So we are all, this is kind of some of my engineering background coming out, but we are all transmitters and receivers. So the computer was built based on us. And whatever we put out there, we are going to bring back. So when you're sitting down to Google a new pair of shoes that you want, you have to put in what you want. So start thinking about what you really want in a relationship, and then be that. So not what you don't want. Although we learn that first typically, start plugging in, okay, if I don't want that, what do I want? And focus on that. Focus on what you do want and focus on being that. So I think that would be the two things. Nothing you've done up until now is wrong. you're doing everything exactly right. Emotions like regret, guilt, get rid of them. Focus on health, focus on what you want, focus on the kind of partner you want, and then be that. So I think that's how I would answer that question.
I
And
love
don't worry about the partner part. Worry about this, your relationship with yourself too. Oh, the biggest one. Do you like who you see when you look in the mirror? Because if you don't, how are you going to attract someone else who does? So just work on those things that make you feel good, make you happy, make you feel good about yourself, represent the kinds of values and, you know, emotions. So funny. I was just talking about my father, and this huge hawk just landed right outside my window. And oh, by the way, that's my maiden name, Hawk. So whenever I see
Oh,
one,
wow.
hi, Dad.
Aww. He's here with us right now.
Yeah, talk about law of attraction.
Oh, you're going to make me cry again. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That was
so
such good
that
advice.
helped.
Yeah, such good advice. Thank you so much. So this is an interesting question, especially for you.
Okay.
Why does it work this time around when it has not worked before?
I think, number one, I've worked a lot on my awareness since the first time around. I mean, I was 20 something, and this time I'm almost 60. So my self-awareness, understanding that these are the things that work and there's science behind it. This is not just woo-woo stuff. It's important to know what you think about. It's important to know how you treat other people, because you will attract what you're willing to be. So just being older, more experienced, understanding what I want, understanding what's important. Also understanding, you know, this is the visual that often pops in my head. If those of you listening know what a Venn diagram is, and if you don't, just Google it. It's
Okay.
circles that intersect, and there's a piece in the middle that represents the combination of the two. So in my head, every person is unique, special, wonderful, amazing, each one. But the piece in the middle is the relationship piece. It's where you come together. So this time, I think about that. I really need to always work on myself and who I am and what it is that brings me joy and happiness. But I also need to look at that relationship piece and say the same thing. So I need to work on the big circle, which is me, but I also need to put that same amount of effort into the relationship. What makes us happy? What do we enjoy doing? What brings us together? How do I want to be when we are together? Because, by the way, you can be this person over here that does all these things, but when you come together, who are you? Who are you as a relationship partner? And so just more awareness, intention of that being good, which means I have to be aware of myself, I have to be aware of my partner, and I have to be aware of what I want in that relationship. So creating the intention of making sure to work on that. I don't know that I could say much more other than there are some benefits to, 40 some years of, of growth and experience in life. And so I think it's interesting that, you've asked some of us who are a little older, because that's a big part of what we can bring to share with those who are just starting out.
Right. Right. Do you think that somebody younger though can have that
Absolutely.
matureness?
Absolutely. I learned this over the years, but yes, I didn't want to learn those things when I was 20 something. I just went into it and decided to do everything I could to make him happy. It doesn't work if you're only trying to make your partner happy. You really have to work on yourself all the time and make yourself happy too. And that's part of what I didn't know at 20 something.
Right.
I went into it, this is going to be great. I'm going to make him happy. My kids are going to be happy. My house is going to be beautiful. I was lost in that. And so that would be one of my big ahas, is to have that self-awareness, have that self-love, have that self-care that keeps you going so that you're not this person who disappears in the relationship.
Okay, love that. Yeah. And I think that rolls on to number 3, which I think that you've answered a lot of already, but what's the biggest secret to keeping your relationship fulfilling?
I would say definitely taking care of yourself, falling in love with yourself. But again, that doesn't mean feeling guilty. Oh, I've gained 5 pounds, or having regrets like, oh, that was so stupid. I shouldn't have done that or said that. Or no. And just, life is great. I mean, it is great.
Right.
And we all have the right to be happy. It's the biggest goal in life, and we forget that. It's not to be in a relationship. It's to be in a relationship with yourself that says, I'm happy when I wake up in the morning. And so I think that when you get happy here, then you'll be happy here. It's not the other way around. We don't bring things into our life to be happy. We be happy here first, and then we attract the rest. And that's from Mike's, The Matrix and Infinite Possibilities, but it's so true. So yeah, I think the big secret is be happy first, do the things that bring you happiness and joy, manage the way that you think and believe about the world, know that you deserve it. So I would definitely say this, not only is it possible, it's going to happen, believe it's going to happen, and believe you deserve it, that you deserve to have what it is that you want. That's what we're here to do. We're here to experience joy and happiness and love and connection. And when you believe that, you will. I think oftentimes we go through a relationship and it ends. And then we feel unworthy. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. So know that there's nothing wrong with you. Know that there's nothing wrong with the fact that maybe you're not in the ideal relationship right now. It's coming. It's coming. The other secret I would add is I now know that the divine knows my deepest heart better than I do. And it wants me to have what I want for myself because it wants to experience that through me. It wants me to experience the best of my life. So it's going to keep putting things in front of me to make sure that happens. It is my job to recognize it, though. Trusting your intuition is huge. I did that much more this time. The first time around, I did what I thought I was supposed to do, and it looked good. Second time around, I'm trusting how I feel. Another secret, feelings first, manifestation second. Andy Dooley. It's true. If you want to have a loving relationship, close your eyes once in a while and feel it. Feel the relationship that you want to have. Feel the warmth, the security, the sense of being in love. Feel it and know it's there. Because if you can feel it, you're now attracting it. Here's the science. If you're feeling it, you're actually attracting it. So focus on what you want to feel, visualize that. I did visualize it every day for a couple minutes in those few months when it, was unfolding, and keep it up. Maintain that. Every day, visualize a little bit about how you want to feel in life, whether it's about your career, about your relationship. Because if you can feel it, you're transmitting that out there and you're going to receive what you're putting out there. So I know that's a lot of secrets, but
yeah, we need all the secrets we can. Those words right from Rebecca's mouth right here. I love it. And I'm going to sneak in another sneaky question.
Okay.
3-question interview, but I'm going to sneak in another question here because I think it's really valuable to ask you this. What advice, so there's women out there that are really wanting to attract their ex-husband back or their ex-boyfriend back into their life. What advice would you give them to manifest what they want?
Well, first of all, what they want is not the ex. What they want is the feeling that they think they will have if they get that back. So you don't ever put a face on it. You visualize how you want to feel and not with who. So whenever we are manifesting, whenever we are drawing to us what it is that we want, you cannot attach to the end result, nor can you influence another person. However, when you close your eyes and imagine how you want to feel, now you're going to bring it to you. And here's where the divine jumps in and says, okay, surprise, I have something even better for you. And it has happened every time. You know, when I visualized having this romantic partner again, I didn't have Mark's face in my crosshairs. I had how I wanted to feel. Now, what I wanted to feel just happens to coincide with how I felt when we were together and we were really happy. But I didn't put his face on it because I know we're not really supposed to do that. And when I say we're not supposed to, who says that? In the law of attraction, we're attracting how we want to feel, not who we want to be with. So very important distinction. You know, this might help. So part of what I was also visualizing is financial security. And I had ideas in my head about how that might happen, you know, make more money in my job or, you know, this, that, or the other thing. And about 2 months later, my oldest son shared with me, you probably know this story, Sarah. Mom, guess what? I was just selected by Forbes magazine as one of the top under age 30, one of the top 30 under age 30 entrepreneurs in China. And, you know, here he is in this huge article about who he is and what he's done. And he said, and just so you know, you'll never have to worry about money again. Now, it would have never dawned on me to think my child or either of my children would have been how that financial security would have come about. And in fact, it's never been necessary. But the idea of that, when I heard that, when I thought about that, I just started to cry. I thought, oh my gosh, I could never have come up with something that amazing or incredible. It filled me up in so many ways. So it's the same with a partner. Right now, for those of you who think getting back with your ex is the answer, the divine knows better. And I can share with you that if you just hold in your heart and in your mind how you want to feel, something better will come along, or it might be them, but don't put their face on it, because if it's only them that you think is going to give that to you, you're limiting the possibilities of how the divine can help you. So there really are infinite possibilities, and there are enough people in the world that they're out there. And in fact, there's probably lots of them out there. But part of what we do when we make it specific is we limit how we're going to feel that joy, how we're going to feel that soul mate. I don't necessarily believe in soul mates, in that it's one. I think there's many, but we have to be open to those possibilities. If we just say, oh, it's him over there, I met him 2 months ago, he's great, he's awesome, he has everything I want, everything I need, there might be a bunch of stuff we don't know. In fact, there's usually a bunch of stuff we don't know. So if we just ask for what we want in our heart, the divine will make sure we get it. It wants what you want. So I guess that would be my answer.
Oh my gosh. Perfect. Perfect advice. So clear. Just very clear and obvious. Like, thank you so much for that. And
you're welcome.
Coming from, again, the mouth of Rebecca, who did attract back her ex-husband. But really, she did leave the who up to the universe. And it just happened to be your ex-husband again.
I did.
What a beautiful fairy tale story. Thank you so much for your advice and your inspiration. If any of the women would like to contact you, would you mind them reaching out to you?
No, not at all. Did you want to put my...
Yeah, I can put your information in the comments for sure. Sure. So I can just grab your email address and put it for everybody to contact you if they want to.
And you could also friend me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Sometimes private messages are the quickest way to get to me because they do pop up on my phone. My email does not. I have to go get it because it's many. So yeah, you could private message me on Facebook or email me. I'd be happy to share whatever I can.
If you wouldn't mind, I would love you to join our group, and then they can find you in the group area. That would be
okay. That would be great. I'll be happy to do that. And just, good luck, everybody. Keep in mind, you're exactly where you need to be. So there's nothing wrong with you. You're looking for that piece in the middle. So you're over here and you're perfect. Somebody else is over here and it's perfect. And when you come together and the relationship works,
magical.
It's magical. It is magical. It is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Sarah.
I love you. Mwah.
Love you too. Bye.